Welcome to Dreamy Tales, a place where gentle, relaxing stories will guide you into a deep sleep. On this channel, we'll be sharing soothing stories to help you unwind and forget the worries of the day. If you enjoy these peaceful moments, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of our bedtime tales. Let's create a space of relaxation together each night. Now, before we dive into tonight's story, let's take a few moments to relax your body and mind. Find a comfortable spot to sit or lie down. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, feeling the fresh air filling your lungs, and slowly exhale, letting the tension in your body gradually melt away. Repeat this 3 more times. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more relaxed and ready to enter the magical world of stories. Now, loosen your shoulders, gently massage your face, and release any remaining tension. Pay attention to any areas in your body that still feel tight, maybe in your neck, back, or legs, and gently let them relax. Next, we'll do a short guided visualization. Imagine yourself in a beautiful garden under the night sky, with the soft moonlight shining down. You can hear the rustling of leaves in the breeze, the sound of water flowing gently in the distance. Feel the cool breeze brushing against your face. Now that your body and mind are relaxed, let's step into tonight's story. But before we begin, remind yourself that you deserve these moments of relaxation, and let go of all worries as you listen to each word. And now, as you are fully relaxed, let's begin our journey into tonight's tale. Allow my words to guide you into a world of dreams and serenity. Relax and listen slowly. It's a warm, golden morning. One of those lovely summer days when the sun beams down just enough to make the air feel pleasant, but not overbearing. You find yourself strolling along a cozy side street paved with well-worn cobblestones that gently slope upward toward a bustling market square. The soles of your shoes emit soft clicks and clacks against the stones, the muffled sound reverberating off the tall stone buildings framing the road. Despite being near the heart of the city, this particular street is unusually serene. Vehicles are technically allowed here, unlike other fully pedestrianized zones, but rarely does a car ever turn onto it. Cyclists also seem to favor more direct routes, leaving this gentle slope wonderfully quiet. You've come to cherish these moments of calm, almost as if you've discovered a hidden portal leading into the city center without the usual noise. As you ascend, you notice balconies spaced along the upper stories of the surrounding buildings. Many sport wrought iron railings or potted plants brimming with geraniums or ivy. On the right-hand side, perched in a patch of brilliant sunshine, you spot a fluffy white and ginger cat curled in a perfect circle. Its eyes remain closed, perhaps only half aware of the world. On the breeze, you catch the cat's purring, low and contented, an unmistakable sign of pure relaxation. You pause, envious of that luxurious doze, and think that if you weren't on your way somewhere, you too might like to find a beam of sunlight to curl up in. The cat's comfort makes you appreciate that the day itself holds a promise of warmth and lazy contentment, a combination seldom found in the city's busier quarters. You offer the drowsy feline a silent salute, then continue toward the wider main road at the end of this lane. A steady, low hum greets your ears even before you glimpse the square. Voices float in from somewhere ahead. Vendors calling out greetings, footsteps crossing the plaza, the shuffle of bags, the hiss of portable coffee machines. It's the weekly farmers market in the city center, held every Saturday in the warmer months, and it's already in full swing. Rounding the final turn, you're met by a warm blaze of sunlight. It bounces off the gleaming cobblestones of the market square. You pause at the edge for a moment, letting the radiant heat soak into your skin. This glow is a gentle reminder of summer's generosity. Long days, abundant produce, and an uplifting sense of possibility. In that lingering moment, you recall how the cat on the balcony must feel, basking in contentment. You've come into town earlier than necessary, planning to meet a close friend for a leisurely day out. Since you're a few minutes ahead of schedule, you head for a familiar bench on the perimeter of the square, a spot that allows you to gaze across the bustling scene from a bit of a remove. The bench's wooden slats, polished with varnish, shine in the sunlight. Lowering yourself onto the bench, you let out a gentle sigh. Muscles that carried you uphill relax, appreciating the temporary pause. A Victorian-style lamp post stands beside you, elegant and tall, topped with a gently curved fixture. From its upper section hangs a colorful basket of flowers, an explosion of petunias, marigolds, and trailing vines. The petals dance slightly in a light breeze, releasing a sweet floral fragrance that drifts to you in delicate waves. Shielding your eyes from the brightness, you glance at the cobbles stretching across the central square. The reflection of sunlight is intense, and you find yourself squinting. Reaching into your bag, you retrieve a slim, hard-shelled case. You pop it open and slip on a pair of sunglasses. With one smooth motion, the world shifts into a muted, golden tone. Your eyes breathe an internal sigh of relief. Now, able to look around more comfortably, you observe rows of striped tents, most in green and white, arranged methodically around the open space. A gentle breeze stirs the tent flaps, making them undulate like flags in a synchronized dance. At the center stands a multi-tiered fountain, reminiscent of a tiered wedding cake in its circular design. Water trickles down in rivulets, creating a soft background murmur. Not far from the fountain, you notice a small platform where 3 musicians are setting up. A singer with an acoustic guitar, a double bassist, and a percussionist tapping at a wooden cajon in a playful manner. A few onlookers have already gathered, waiting for that first chord to ring out. You can almost taste the promise of lively melodies. Surrounding the square, tall buildings in neutral hues, dusty taupes, pale creams, slate grays, provide a dignified backdrop. Their understated tones allow the vibrant stalls and myriad visitors to truly pop against the skyline. High above, a Gothic-style church spire rules over the scene, reaching heavenward with intricate stone filigree. You briefly wonder about the architects and stonemasons from centuries past, whose skill and vision shaped the city's silhouette. Time trickles by, and you begin to drift into a pleasant reverie. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice call your name. Turning, you spot your friend approaching with a radiant smile, weaving through the early market goers. You rise from the bench, returning their greeting with an enthusiastic hug. Apologizing that you were momentarily lost in daydreams, you share a laugh and relish that sense of ease that comes from being with someone you trust implicitly. With the day stretching ahead, you and your friend decide to tour the market before finding something to eat. Though often labeled a farmer's market, the array of stalls includes everything from produce and dairy to artisanal crafts, exotic spices, and local artwork. It's that variety which keeps you coming back week after week. You and your friend head down the first row of striped tents. Before long, a delightful aroma, rich, warm, slightly nutty, wafts through the air, A specialty coffee stall beckons, its counter laden with burlap sacks of beans from Peru, Ethiopia, Colombia, and beyond. The roaster, a friendly-looking woman with a bright kerchief around her hair, stands behind a gleaming espresso machine. She offers small samples of the day's featured roast, and you and your friend gladly accept. Deciding you both need a morning pick-me-up, you request 2 cups of freshly brewed Peruvian coffee. The vendor mentions you might pick up hints of caramel, toasted pecans, and a zesty citrus aftertaste. Sure enough, your first sip is a revelation. Mellow yet layered, with a whisper of sweetness. One sip leads to another, your taste buds dancing. Warming your hands on the cardboard coffee cups, you move along to the produce stands. Crisp heads of lettuce, rich purple eggplants, vibrant peppers, and sweet corn in bright yellow husks call out from wicker baskets. Lemons and limes are piled high beside strawberries and peaches, each fruit glinting in the sunlight with mouth-watering allure. Stallholders energetically advertise their harvest, proclaiming they have the best produce in town. You smile at each enthusiastic vendor, appreciating the dedication it takes to grow, harvest, and transport these goods. Your friend points out a particularly fine display of apples, arranged pyramid-style in shades of green and red, each polished to a shining brilliance. Around you, other shoppers cradle cloth bags full of fresh items, and the air is a chorus of good-natured haggling, laughter, and greetings. Reaching the final stall in that row, the warm scent of freshly baked bread envelopes you. The tabletop is a bakery paradise. Rustic loaves with flour-dusted tops, braided challah, and chunky sourdough rounds. A separate stand displays cakes, pastries, and tarts, each topped with swirls of icing or glazes that catch the sun in tempting little glimmers. Even though you'd love to indulge in a slice of sponge cake, you opt to hold off until after lunch. Your friend, meanwhile, can't resist the siren call of a seeded whole-grain loaf. The vendor cheerfully wraps it in paper. As you wait, you savor the last dregs of your coffee, enjoying the gentle caffeine buzz that courses through your veins. It's as if every cell in your body is waking up to the day's promise. Time slips by in easy contentment. The midday sun is now high overhead, and your stomach reminds you that breakfast was hours ago. Right at the square's center, several pop-up food vendors cluster around the fountain. Their menus span the globe. You see options for Thai noodles, Italian paninis, Japanese sushi, Spanish tapas, Middle Eastern falafel wraps, and more. The mingled aromas create a dizzying tapestry of scents. You and your friend exchange excited glances, discussing your options. You decide on a hot, toasted panini stuffed with tangy cheese, roasted peppers, and pesto sauce, while your friend gravitates toward a sushi assortment brimming with salmon, avocado, and colorful pickled vegetables. A side of potato wedges for you. A small bowl of edamame for them. Perfect compliments. Balancing your freshly acquired meals, you wander over to the fountain. It's encircled by a broad, low platform made of smooth concrete. Many visitors share the same idea, to perch here with lunch in hand. You find a free spot and settle down, the gentle rush of water behind you. The sun feels glorious on your back, tempered by a mild breeze. You bite into your panini, and the warmth of the grilled bread meets the melty cheese and vegetables in a burst of savory flavor. Meanwhile, your friend deftly wields chopsticks, plucking sushi rolls one by one. You exchange bites to compare tastes, an unspoken ritual you've perfected over years of friendship. While you're savoring your food, the trio of musicians finishes their final sound check. The singer, a tall fellow with curly hair, offers a quick introduction. Then, with a count of 4, they launch into a familiar tune. A breezy, laid-back melody that instantly lightens the mood. You catch yourself nodding in time, smiling at your friend in recognition. Other market-goers gather around, forming a small half-circle to enjoy the performance. Children dance in that unself-conscious way that only children can, spinning in circles or clapping their hands. The double bass provides a deep, resonant groove, while the cajon's snappy beats keep the rhythm anchored. In that moment, all seems right with the world. A sweet sense of contentment envelops you. The sun's golden glow, the music's lively tempo, and the simple pleasure of sharing good food with a good friend converge, making you forget any stress or worry. Time slips by like sand through an hourglass. When the band ends at their first set, the crowd applauds enthusiastically. You join in, cheering louder than you expected. The performers nod in thanks and announce they'll take a short lunch break themselves. You realize your own meal is nearly finished. You'd been so captivated by the music that you hardly noticed your panini disappearing. Your friend chuckles, pointing out that you look utterly relaxed, as if all your cares melted away along with the cheese in your sandwich. It's true, your shoulders feel loose, your posture comfortable. You stand, taking a moment to stretch your back, conscious of how inertia settles in when you're happily seated for too long. Bellies satisfied and spirits high, you venture beyond the food section to explore the stalls that line the far side of the square. Many focus on arts and crafts, showcasing the community's boundless creativity. You pass a display table overflowing with knitted items, cozy gloves, whimsical headbands, and crocheted scarves. But, mindful of the warm weather, the vendor has dedicated half her stall to summery accessories like macrame plant hangers and pom-pom bouquets. She's expertly glued colorful pom-poms to twigs that have been partially dipped in silver or gold paint, each little arrangement standing proudly in a small vase. "What a clever idea," your friend remarks, running a fingertip over one soft pom-pom. You agree, picturing how these playful creations might add a splash of cheer to a desk or windowsill. Next, you spot a stall featuring stained glass sun catchers, shining brilliantly under the direct sun. Themes vary from marine life, lighthouses, sails, and waves, to abstract geometric shapes in vibrant blues and reds. When the sunlight filters through these pieces, the ground below dances with prismatic fragments of color. You imagine them hanging in a sunny window at home, brightening a kitchen or living room with fleeting rainbows. At each stall, you exchange polite greetings with the artisans. Some are older retirees who have turned beloved hobbies into small businesses. Others are younger makers trying to establish a name in the local scene. You admire their dedication, enjoying the personal stories they share about learning their craft or sourcing materials. One potter proudly shows you a set of hand-thrown ceramic mugs, each boasting a unique glaze technique that leaves swirling patterns reminiscent of ocean waves. Another craftsperson arranges delicate silver jewelry shaped like leaves and flowers. The atmosphere feels communal and heartfelt, a stark contrast to the hurried bustle of big box stores. Though you're not in urgent need of anything in particular, you gather mental notes for potential gifts or home decor. The city's creative pulse is on full display. You browse for quite some time, letting the uplifting energy wash over you. After an hour or two meandering among the stalls, you and your friend decide to roam the nearby streets. The city center is dotted with boutiques, historical landmarks, and quaint passages. Here and there, an old-fashioned signpost points the way to a local museum or an antiques shop. The day's warmth persists, and you're thankful you wore comfortable shoes. At some point, you recall the imposing church spire you noticed earlier. You mention it to your friend, and together you wander down a narrower lane to get a closer look. The spire is even more impressive at close range. A symphony of arches, carvings, and stone gargoyles perched near the top, silently watching over passers-by. Though you don't go inside, you admire the craftsmanship from the courtyard, imagining the centuries of history embedded in its walls. Soon, you notice the quality of light shifting. Afternoon transitions to early evening, and the bright midday glare gentles into a softer glow. Shadows lengthen across the streets, each building stretching its silhouette further onto the pavement. The temperature cools slightly, and a welcome breeze drifts by, carrying a mix of floral notes and faint cooking aromas from nearby cafes. Heading back toward the square, you see that many vendors are starting to pack up. Crates of produce are being stacked in vans, and the once lively chatter of stall holders has turned to murmured farewells as they wind down their business. The band from earlier is performing their last songs of the day, the melodies drifting lazily on the evening air. Though the market is winding down, a few stalls remain open for stragglers like you. One in particular catches your eye. A cheerful vendor offering an assortment of homemade jams and preserves. Jars glint on the tabletop in the waning sunlight. You and your friend wander over, drawn by the promise of sweet flavors. The vendor, a middle-aged man dressed in a neat collared shirt, greets you with palpable enthusiasm. He takes obvious pride in explaining the variety of jams: classic strawberry, tangy black currant, bright cherry, and also more unusual combinations like rhubarb vanilla and pineapple lime. Some recipes even incorporate cocktail-inspired twists, like peach bellini or a mojito marmalade. You and your friend partake in small samples spooned onto tiny wooden taster spoons. Each jam bursts with flavor. The rhubarb vanilla offers a gentle balance of tart and sweet. The pineapple lime is refreshing, while the cocktail variations taste surprisingly sophisticated. After some light-hearted debate, exchanging your personal favorites with your friend, you decide you can't stray from tradition. Raspberry jam has always been your go-to, and this batch is exceptional, vibrant in color and rich in berry essence. You hand over your payment, and the vendor wraps your jar with a delighted grin, thanking you for trying out his creations. You find yourself excited by the simple pleasure of having jam to look forward to when you get home. After a day filled with so many tastes and sights, it's this little jar that will let you carry a sliver of the market's magic back with you. Evening sets in with greater insistence now. The sky shifts to a tapestry of burnished orange and purple streaks, reminiscent of the dyed glass ornaments you saw earlier. Fewer people remain in the square, which somehow makes it feel more spacious. Stalls disappear rapidly as vendors load up their trucks. Nearby, a mother gathers her children, reminding them to hold hands as they hurry off. A pair of older women totter by with baskets full of flowers and vegetables, presumably for a delicious dinner. Your legs feel the pleasant ache of a day spent exploring on foot. You can't remember the last time you felt so relaxed while also being this tired. There's something deeply satisfying about fatigue earned through an enjoyable outing. It's time to say farewell to your friend. The two of you stand at the outskirts of the square, just where you originally entered that morning. warmth and gratitude fill your chest as you exchange hugs, thanking each other for a wonderful day. There's a shared promise to do this again soon. Maybe visit a different seasonal market, or check out a local festival next time. With the band's final notes still echoing in the distance, you begin retracing your steps along the quiet back road. The slope now works in your favor as you head downhill. In your bag, you feel the reassuring weight of the jam jar, a small treasure from the day's adventures. As you near the building where you first saw the cat, you lift your gaze toward the balcony. The sun has shifted, so that patch of light is gone, and so is the cat. You smile, imagining that the cat has probably relocated to some equally cozy corner indoors, perhaps nestled on a favorite chair or sofa. You realize that you too are yearning for a restful spot to curl up in once you reach home. By now, the city center is behind you, the hum of the market replaced by the soft hush of early evening. Lamps begin to flicker on, throwing pools of warm light onto the cobbles. You think about the jam you plan to try, maybe on fresh toast or a simple cracker. Even that small detail fills you with anticipation. After the day's savory treats, a sweet finish sounds perfect. You let your mind drift over the highlights, sipping fragrant coffee, listening to upbeat music, sampling imaginative jam flavors, marveling at crafts, and sharing laughter with someone dear. It all melds into a tapestry of bright colors, tastes, and sounds, an encapsulation of life's gentle joys. Arriving at the edge of the residential quarter, you pass rows of quieter streets, some with well-tended gardens and climbing roses around the doors. Dusk's last light casts a warm sheen on windows. You can sense the hush that descends when neighbors settle in for the evening. Somewhere, perhaps, dinner preparations fill a kitchen with cozy aromas. Elsewhere, children might be finishing their day's play in a back garden. You approach your own home with a soft, tired smile on your face. The key turns in the lock with a familiar click, and you slip inside. The air greets you with the comforting stillness that only comes from a place that's truly yours. You imagine toasting a slice of bread, spreading that raspberry jam generously across it, and savoring the sweet tanginess that will round out the day perfectly. Then, you recall the cat once more, lazing around, warm and content. You can't help but mimic that same drowsy contentment as you decide to ease out of your shoes, brew a gentle cup of herbal tea, and settle onto your sofa. Everything can wait until tomorrow. Your body and soul are due a well-earned rest. So concludes a memorable day, a journey through a sunlit city, culminating in the quiet comfort of home. You picture yourself drifting to sleep with the faint echo of acoustic guitar strings in your mind, the brightness of midday replaced by the soft hush of night. Tomorrow will bring its own routine and tasks, but today's memories remain, sweet as the jam you'll soon enjoy. Just before you fully surrender to rest, you think once more of the marketplace, the bustling stalls, the vibrant produce, the swirl of friendly faces. You carry that sense of community and wonder with you, grateful for the warm synergy of summer, friendship, and small-town charm. And with a gentle sigh, you let this gratitude lull you into a blissful slumber, content in the knowledge that some joys, like a perfect Saturday outing, are timeless.